Olivia Culpo, welcome to the ITP Live Conference. We are live in Dubai, actually, when this airs, and we're honored to have you here.
Thank you for having me. Oh my gosh, I miss Dubai. I miss traveling.
I know. Well, we're so impressed with the brand you've created for yourself in the spaces of modeling, beauty, and fashion. You are really a fierce entrepreneur and a business-minded woman, and the perfect celebrity speaker for our socialpreneurship, the journey from content creator to CEO. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. That's an honor. It's a heavy title.
So, COVID 19 has truly impacted the world, and we've all had to pivot our lives and our businesses. And in this year, we found there was a lot of giving back for many, including yourself. Could you tell us a little bit about how you responded to COVID 19 as an entrepreneur?
So for me, had I had an idea that I wanted to pursue. I knew I needed to do something to get back. I was feeling honestly just very depressed. I felt like I wanted to get back. I just didn't really know where that was going to end up living. And as masks became more popular, I thought to myself, why don't I make really cool, fashionable face masks that are reusable and comfortable? And at that point in time, honestly, it wasn't even a mandate to wear them. There was no actual backing as to whether or not they were even considered safe. So there was a lot of red tape, but I had a feeling that we were going to start wearing masks. I would go out and I would see them a little bit more. I heard mixed reviews of whether or not it was even helpful, but I thought that if anything, there are a handful of people wearing masks. I can make them, and then I can donate all of that money to a cause. And so then I started thinking about what cause I would partner with, and I started to do research on that. And I realized that a lot of people were just trying to find food. A lot of people were hungry. That was the number one basic need that um, I thought was going to be the most impactful. So I decided to partner with Feeding America. And then that's how More Than a Mask started. So one mask sold equals 100 meals. And we've raised over 1.5 million meals. And I'm about to actually resurrect More Than a Mask and create on a more female based angle. Now that COVID is looking up, I'm going to actually partner with another organization that would be more female based.
That's incredible. Wow. And what a pivot you did during the pandemic. That's really, really inspiring, Olivia.
Thank
So,
you.
this entire conference is about female empowerment, and we'd love to know why female empowerment is important to you.
Well, I feel like I owe all of the success that I've had to other women. Honestly, I think that in a lot of ways, none of us would be where we were if we did not have something or someone to look up to, another woman who paved the way, whether we know them or we see them from afar, whether it's a relative or a stranger. So I feel like it's a huge part of my brand because I know and really do believe that a win for one woman is a win for all women. And I think that I've been able to learn so much from really embracing that and embracing the successes of other women that are my peers that have come before me and that are even just in my family.
I love that. That's beautiful. So, you've done an incredible job transitioning from being a model, a creator, into a businesswoman, a CEO. How did you make that transition? And what advice would you give to other creators looking to do the same?
Well, I feel like at the end of the day, I've always found this to be true. The number one, the only person standing in your own way is yourself. So I think first and foremost, you need to believe in yourself and the possibilities you have to achieve something, whatever that thing is. And you can't pay attention to what anyone else has to say about it. You can't pay attention to whether or not it's the status quo, whether or not you've seen it before. Because I think a lot of the time that type of self-talk is what holds people back. And a lot of what that boils down to is really our own self-dialogue.
Mm.
So I feel like at the end of the day, you just have to advocate for what you see for yourself. And you also have to understand that part of breaking barriers and starting something is it hasn't been done before. Like you really can't look outside of yourself to find like that go ahead, that like stamp of approval, because a lot of times as a real pioneer and like entrepreneurs usually are, you have to be that stamp of approval for yourself. So I feel like it starts within, as cliche as that
Ooh,
sounds.
ooh, that was deep. Well said.
Thank
So,
you.
your business resume is really impressive. Um, can you tell us what you look for when partnering with brands?
Oh, well, I feel like a lot of that changes regularly, especially this past year. There are a lot more things that I look for. I think first and foremost, you have to feel like it's an authentic connection. You have to feel like you trust the people and the purpose of whatever the product is. So, for example, with me, I actually own two businesses with my family, which is really fun. I own restaurants with my dad. We're opening up another one. Those were the easiest business decisions to make because at the end of the day, I know that he's always going to have my best interest. But I would say when you're really venturing out into new people, it's so important to make sure that like it is a relationship that you trust. You don't want to be stuck with something that you're uncomfortable with. And then another thing, honestly, I've heard from a lot of really successful business women because I talk to them a lot. I'm a girl's girl. I talk to all girls all the time, but you have to have a really good lawyer. Have a great lawyer. That's one piece of advice that I received from Anastasia. I don't know if you know Anastasia.
Oh, the eyebrows. Yes.
Told me that like 3 years ago, and I always think about that because she's right. So that's a little bit
That's
more pragmatic.
solid. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's some solid. Get yourself a good lawyer and do business with people you like. That's great.
Yeah.
So you have millions of fans globally. I mean, this is in Dubai right now. And so, how did your digital audience help support the success of your brands and companies?
I feel like everything now is an open forum. Everyone is so much more connected than we were even 5 years ago. With social media, I mean, everyone is together in this social media world. Social media drives everything. So it was a huge driving force because it was a huge way that I could communicate with people and also be discovered by people all over the world. So really, honestly, I don't even know what a world would look like without social media and without that international fan base, I guess you could say, because it's all that I've ever known. And I definitely think I owe a lot of my success to that, just really leveraging
Mm.
it.
It is pretty incredible how connected we can all be no matter where in the world you are.
Yeah.
Could you tell us a little bit about Culpos and Ink, how that brand came to life?
So that's a collaboration with my sisters that we did with Macy's. My older sister and my younger sister and I decided to do this collaboration together with Macy's. We did 3 drops. So we just finished the third one. I'm really proud of the pieces. They're really, really, really cool. Lots of vegan leather, lots of really cool silhouettes. We have a lot of shoulder pad details. I feel like it actually feels like we ship internationally. So anyone tuning in the Middle East right now has to check it out. It's Culpo's XINC. And we have an Instagram that has all the clothes and everything's on a really good sale right now because Macy's is great about it.
Ooh.
They have great sales all the time.
Oh, we love a good sale. That is amazing. Make sure you guys check that out. And so, with this collaboration, and how much would you say that social media played a role in the success of it?
Well, I would say a ton, especially given the fact that none of the stores were open because of COVID. So none of the stores were selling the product for the most part. And then we're all kind of stuck at home. So I don't know how any product would be moved if we didn't have social media during this pandemic. I mean, it would be hard.
Yeah, so true. So true. So, Olivia, what inspired you to become an entrepreneur and a businesswoman?
I've always really loved the idea of entrepreneurship. I think it's because my dad raised us in the restaurant industry. And I saw the way that the restaurant industry in itself brought people together. And that's where I really started to understand I wanted to be a business owner. And I always said to myself, if nothing worked out in my career, modeling or acting or anything, that I would love to own a restaurant. I actually have journals from when I was 18 years old saying that that was one of my goals, to be a restaurant owner. I think I just was really driven to the hospitality industry just as much as the idea of owning something and being able to be a business person, because I love the way that food brings people together and creates this great communion and memories that you remember forever. So it was both equally really important to me. Yeah.
I love that. So you're involved in many philanthropy efforts and you've been a mentor yourself to other women. So did you have a female mentor on this journey or do you currently have one?
I would say there were a lot. I mean, even just how I started out knowing that I really wanted to get into the entertainment industry. At the time, I was really just focused on acting. And that's when I was at Boston University. I was studying communications and acting. And I started just researching how I could become successful. Like I would just Google, and I was a biography snob. Like I knew where everyone was born, where they started, what their breaking role was, how they broke into the industry. And a lot of what I would see were pageants. It was so crazy to me. I saw like Michelle Pfeiffer, Halle Berry. I mean, you'd be shocked. So many women started, even if they were really young. I kept seeing pageants and pageants, and I was like, well, I don't have anything else to do. And I definitely don't have an agent or agency or anyone that I can turn to. Why don't I just try a pageant? And so then I went from Miss Rhode Island to Miss Universe in a year and a half. And then everything after that changed. And I kind of just really understood that I I love the challenge of just like setting my mind to something and going for it. I loved the thrill of that. So that's kind of where it all started. And I think that just kind of was basically back to me looking at other women. I was looking at what
Mm.
worked for them. I was being inspired. I was taking inspiration. And that's still something I do. I definitely still do that. It changes on a daily basis though. I will say that as I get
That's
older.
good though. There's a lot of inspiration out there, a lot of amazing females, including yourself. So absolutely. So I
Thank
want
you.
to go back to the restaurant. You mentioned the passion of the hospitality industry and this restaurant you started with your family, and I believe it's called Back 40, and it's in Rhode Island. So
Exactly.
you're on the way to opening a second restaurant. So tell us a little bit more about your endeavors in the hospitality and food and beverage space.
Yeah, so Back 40 is, I think, about 3 years old now, and then Union in Maine will be opening in the summer. So that's really exciting. And where I grew up in Rhode Island, it's the smallest state. It's a very much a hometown feel. So to now have two restaurants there, I mean, I'm so proud. I'm so proud that I'll even be able to like have something that I feel is a piece of myself where I grew up, because that will always be my home. Although I don't think I'll ever really be able to live there, it will always have a piece of me. And I think that those restaurants represent that for me. And also being able to go back and also provide a space for people to just enjoy themselves and have fun. It's a really
Yeah.
cool, I've always been drawn to that part of the restaurant industry more than anything. So it's really nice to see it come to life. It's a dream
Mm,
come true. It really is. And also
I
working with your
love that.
family is great.
Well, maybe Dubai could be on the map. You know, we love restaurants in Dubai.
Oh, I know it. I know you guys do love restaurants. Every time I go to Dubai, I'm just like, I just love those like 4-hour dinners and like the teas and the courses and everything about it. The people watching, the outfit is great.
So you honestly, you've accomplished so much in your career, modeling, entrepreneurship, your philanthropy work. So what does the future hold for Olivia as an entrepreneur?
Ooh, okay. Well, I have a lot of ideas. There will definitely be in the fashion space. Definitely there will be more in the restaurant industry because I'm just so passionate about that area. I would say real estate is something that um I've been doing my due diligence on because I want to learn and definitely get into that eventually. But then Two other really exciting areas, something in the beauty industry that I can't talk about yet, but I will be able to share that eventually. That's a really exciting project. And then also I have a canned cocktail called Bide, which is another really exciting thing that I've launched here in the US. But I feel like in general, just taking every opportunity and continuing to learn and grow, because I feel like I'm really lucky to have all of these different areas that I have a hand in. And every day I'm learning, every day I'm growing. And I feel like that's really all you can ask. And then as far as the one thing in the beauty industry, I just can't talk about it yet, but eventually you guys will see what that is.
Well, we are looking forward to it. We can't wait for that reveal. And you are incredible. Thank you so much. Thank you that
Yeah.
you shared some amazing gems. And it was a pleasure to have you at the ITP conference.
Oh, I'm so glad that you loved it. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm so happy that this worked out. And I hope you guys have
Thank
a
you.
great rest of your conference, and hopefully I'll be there in person some year.
Yes. Yes, we'll have to get you to Dubai soon. Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.